Hello, my friends and family, in my football world. How's everybody tonight? Okay, so you've heard all my picks in college 29 unit lock going Saturday. Another team will be locked. I'm just trying to look through everything to determine how I'm going to play it. So there'll be 3 locks. I'm hunting for one in the pros, and we'll see if we can find one. So tonight's talk is on the NFL, Week 9, looking at everything. So let's go through what the heck's going on. So here, the Jets, Zach Wilson doesn't play. And then they bring in Mike White, who I thought was the coach of Illinois, and he ends up being the quarterback from Western Kentucky, who always had very good teams. I bet in my 2018 draft video, I've probably mentioned him because I like those guys that throw 50 touchdowns and 3 interceptions that don't go to Ohio State. So White lights it up. I expect to see similar today if he did it against Cincinnati, who has a very good defense. Cincinnati is I got him as a B team, and I got Indy as an E team. So Indy's an even team. They score some and they don't. So they're like 25 points, 26 scoring and giving up. So they're not low for an under like the Bears. The Bears are an under, or they're not like a 30-30. They would be an over team. So that's how I can tell what they are. So look for the Jets. I mean, he let the more confidence you got against Cincinnati. He's last 4 times, I think he led them to touchdowns. So I think the Jets have the defense. Now with the quarterback, let's see. Now that there's film out, here's the hard part. He plays, nobody knows who he is. He could be the guy bringing the cokes. And then here he comes. Now let's see how he is with some film on him, so Indy knows what to do. Not that Indy's that great, but this will be interesting to see. I think the spread's 10 is too high. A team like Indy's an E team. You need an A team to be laying 10. Even an A against the Z. Look at Cincinnati was playing the Jets and laying 11, 10.5. I teased it down to 4.5. And they lost the game right out. So, and that was a B team going against the Z. So here you got an E team. Now they're at home. Does that matter in the pros? We'll see. We'll see how good Mike White is, but it's definitely an intangible that you have to watch this guy a few weeks now. It's like a new college quarterback to see if he's any good. So I can't play Indy -4. The Jets in 16 probably would be appropriate, but they're not the same as a road dog as there as a home dog. I'll get into the stats in a minute. I just ate, so I had to get that done. Come on. Am I going to have the same problem? It must be when YouTube's on. Oh, here we go. So let's get into. So if we look at the stats, well, I'll do that after. But I'll look at the 2021 stats team by team. But right now, Indy is the trend play. The Jets are a very bad week road dog, but they're very good home dog. So just keep that in mind. But it's hard. You don't know what this White guy is. I mean, you don't just accidentally put up 30 points on Cincinnati when Baltimore couldn't put up anything. So you can't say good, bad, or ugly. The Jets, but I'm not impressed with Indy. They're not this great either. So right now it's a watch. If I had to bet, I'd probably go over 40 because if White is for real, they're going to score. Indy will score. It'll go over. And all you can do, you only have one game on them, so you don't know. So I'm going to watch, but if you guys needed to play, I would either take the Jets in 16 thinking he's real or go over. But again, there's not enough information for me to make a selection here. Houston and Miami. Key injury, Tagovailoa is questionable with ribs again, so he's got his ribs back. However, if Brissett were the quarterback, I think the odds on Miami would go up. They're 5.5, 46. They're both Z teams, which means they both stink. No offense, no defense. And you don't know how a game like that's going to play out. It's almost an over because you have no defense on the field. The offenses should be able to do something against weak defenses. So almost look at it. Miami's playing this team with no defense. They should put points up. Houston's playing this team with no defense. They should put points. So when an A plays the Z, see, they can't move on the defense. So they end up, that's the problem. But here, both teams should be able to move. So I would think this would be an over game, over 40. Especially if Tagovailoa doesn't play and Brissett plays, then I like Miami. I like the over a lot better. Tagovailoa, 5-yard passes. That's all the guy can do. Funny he didn't do that at Alabama. Denver, Dallas. Dallas is the A team. Denver's an under team, but they've lost the linebacker. Why do I forget that name? That name and the Alabama coach, Nick Saban. Okay, and then this guy is I don't know. I can't. Von Miller. Yeah. Give me a point for Von Miller. So Von Miller, I'm going to write that down so I remember. So he's no longer there now. How much did he play? He's pretty injured. So Dak Prescott's a yes. He's definitely going to play. But again, Dallas 10 minus 6 is 4. That's a terrible number. Again, in the pros, they're just trying to win. They're not trying to put up a lot. How strong is Denver's defense going to be without Von Miller? That's another question. So they got Judy back from Alabama. Hamler's out for the year, so that should make him a little bit more effective. I don't know. I mean, Denver doesn't score a lot anyway, and Von Miller helped their defense, so maybe they go more to an E where they don't score and their defense is weaker. I mean, how much we don't know, and how much did he play we don't know. But I mean, this is the problem with pro football now. College, I gave you 25 winners. The pros, I look at the games and I'm like. And there's so many shitty teams. Dallas should win. They're the better team here. Dallas is the A team, so I guess you could play a small -4. And that's the other thing. I hate the numbers. So if Dallas was -7, I go, okay, we'll lay 1. There you go. Now it's -10, so I got to lay 4, which I don't like. Over under 49. I don't know that Denver will score. So Dallas could score 28. I don't know what Denver's going to do. What did Denver do last week? Denver. So they beat Washington 17-10. So it was still an under, and I would assume Von Miller played. So here you got them -10. So they played a 27 with Washington, who's terrible. I don't know. I don't know that Denver can keep up. I do like Bridgewater. I don't love him. He's okay. It's better than I thought, but he's not great. Dak's playing. So let's pick a score here. Maybe 31-10. So that's 41. Which makes this game an under because the over-under is 49. I don't know why it's so high. Just because Dak's playing. Denver doesn't have a potent offense. Let's get to that. So Denver's offense. So let's look. Denver. Denver scores 20 and gives up 17. So let's say you lose 4 points for Von Miller. So now they're at 20 and they give up 21. Okay, that doesn't make too big of a deal. Dallas scores 32, gives up 23. They're an A team, and they get Prescott back 20-17, 32-23. So they score 32, Denver 20. They give up 17-23. But Denver 17 will be 20. So they're like a 20-20. So Dallas should score more, but I don't think Denver really scores that much. Let's go to the quarterbacks. So if we look at the quarterbacks, so we know what Prescott's all about. 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 300 yards a game, 73%, which I don't look at the percent anymore because half of them are these little shuttle passes behind the line of scrimmage or to the flanks. They're not real passes. You almost need a new statistic that are like handoff passes because they're not real passes. Denver, Teddy Bridgewater. All right, Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy. 13 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. So you can see Dak is 16-4. He's 13-5. Not a huge difference. He throws for 70%. So Dak's playing well. I don't think they come and kill Denver. Even though they've lost Von Miller, they still are a defensive fundamental team. Excuse me. So, I mean, they're still going to play tough D, but they don't have an offense anyway. That's what I look at. Let's look at their other stats. So Dallas, 314 yards a game, 152 is Zeke, 466 yards, 12 sacks, which is low. And Denver, 253 yards, 100 passing, 104 running. They got 20 sacks. Now, how much are they going to lose with Von Miller? How many of the 20 was Von? So, again, we got to watch. We can't really say. So, I don't love Dallas in the game. Again, I think it's an under. I think Dallas scores. I don't know if Denver keeps up, so maybe that makes it a Dallas lay the 4. Over under, go under 55. I think the under 55 is the best play because even with Dak, they're not going to score 60 points. I mean, this isn't Alabama. This isn't college. Minnesota, Baltimore. Baltimore laying 6 over under 49.5 again. Injuries, Baltimore, the whole team, but they've been like that the whole year. Minnesota, Barr, and there's another defensive player that are both injured, but they're questionable, so they'll probably play. I get this as a dog play. Minnesota, you don't know what you're getting. What did they do last week? They fucked on Minnesota. Yeah, they lost to Dallas at home 20-16. This game's in Baltimore. So they held Dallas to 20, but it was Cooper Rush. So Cooper Rush gets 20 on him. Baltimore, remember, lost by 50 to Cincinnati, and that's the latest thing in their mind is that loss and then they had the bye. Minnesota, Kirk Cousins, Mr. Choke, terrible quarterback. He's deceptive because he'll get good stats, but they're meaningless. They're down 20, and then he gets his stats. Well, where was he in the Dallas game? He didn't do anything there. So why didn't he score more? With Cooper Rush in the game, they should have been trying to score more, and yet they didn't. So I think it's a combination of Minnesota. The quarterback's not that good, and the coach, the offensive coordinator, is lousy. Oh my God, excuse me. So I I don't know. Baltimore got killed by Cincy. So on that premise, I think I like Baltimore even. The trends are there's no trends on the game. Baltimore's not a strong home favorite. Minnesota is not a strong road dog. In teasers, there's nothing there. And I'll go through that at the end of the list. Um, I just think Baltimore wins at home after getting blown out. They'll play a good game. I don't know if it's good enough against Minnesota, but I think there's a lot of injuries on both teams, and it becomes how Minnesota spies Jackson. They can spy him good with the Anthony Barr or somebody like that. He ain't going to do nothing, and then Baltimore's in trouble. So we'll see what happens. Next game, New England 3.5 over Carolina. I got Darnell as questionable. New England's got a lot of questionables, a lot of injuries, but not Key. I mean, Key is the quarterback, so he's fine. Probably the only one, but you look at the injury report, and there's 25 guys on the injury. So it's really smart that they don't play preseason. They're all these teams are getting their guys injured because there's lack of preparation for the games. New England 3.5. Carolina with Art Darnell, who's their backup. New England's a B team, so they're scoring a little bit more as Jones gets more comfortable. Carolina's an under team. Carolina's the team that got killed by the Giants 25-3. And what did they do last week? Carolina. They beat Atlanta 19-13, of course. They lose to the Giants at home, I believe, and then 19-13 they beat a terrible Atlanta team. The trend, see, Carolina is a very strong road dog, and we got them as a home dog, but they're not a very good home dog. So this is why you got to look at the role and where's the team good? Are they a good home dog or good? And you remember my Detroit Lions against Philly. Told you Detroit was a terrible home dog, like 21-2. There you go. So the trends come in a lot. They're not 100% as nothing is, but it helps you because you realize the team is not a good psychological as a home dog, as a road favorite. How strong is New England as a road favorite? They're not great, and most of their trends with Brady. So you don't have a Jones trend yet, so you don't know. They probably will win, but it'll probably be close. I had them last week as a road dog to San Diego, which they won. I didn't care if they won the game, but they actually won the game on a pick six. So really, I think this play is under 41.5 to 47.5. I can't play. How do you play a road favorite like New England with a lot of injuries? And that Carolina with Art Darnell, I can't play him as a home dog, and they're not a good home dog. So it ends up where, and this is what I'm running into. There's so many changes. There's so many new coaches and new quarterbacks. And then you got these little trades with Von Miller, and then you got Stafford switching. And so you end up where you don't have enough information on a lot of these games to really predict like I do in college, even though I don't have as much information. Seems to be, well, they're playing for the playoff or they're playing to win a division. And here you can look at the standings, and I'll get to that, phase 3 here. So phase 1 is just looking at the game, trying to pick a winner. Let's go to Buffalo. Buffalo, A team. Jacksonville is a Z team. I think I said New England was a B. Carolina was an under. So the B should win the game because Carolina doesn't score and Darnell's hurt. Buffalo, on the other hand, is an A team playing Jacksonville with Z team. They're laying 14.5, over under 48.5. Here, I do love Buffalo. Here, the trend is Buffalo. And now there's pros and cons to Buffalo's schedule. So they've beaten Miami twice. They've got the Jets twice. They're playing Jacksonville. I mean, it's like It's insane. And they're playing, they're playing the Dallas. So they get the Giants, Philly, and Washington. So they've got like easiest schedule in the world with 9 easy games right off the bat. So Buffalo's not as good as you think, but they did win at Kansas City. They did lose to Tennessee with Henry. So that's what you got to look at. Then they get all these easy games. So again, 14.5, 48.5. There's a huge trend on Buffalo in the game. The only trends I've seen so far are Miami is a strong, not that they're a strong home favorite. Houston's a terrible road dog. And then Buffalo is the second. They're a strong road favorite. And Jacksonville's just a weak team against the number. So again, 14.5, cut it to 8.5. Again, Buffalo to win by 10. 48.5, I would say probably over, but I'm not going to. If I bet the game, it'll be Buffalo minus 8.5. Cleveland, Cincinnati. Now, looking at the head up, see, you can't do it in Buffalo, Jacksonville. They don't play each other that often, but Cincinnati, Cleveland play each other twice a year. Cleveland has won 4 of the last 5 or covered 4 of the last 5. I don't really care if they win. I care if they cover. So in a teaser, Cleveland's 4-1 the last 5, but Burrow is there. So Burrow, I think, won one of the games. I don't know if he even won because I know he got injured. So I don't know if he was in those games. I think they were late in this season, December or something. So Cincinnati's 2.5, 47. A lot of injuries on Cleveland. Baker Mayfield's playing injured. Beckham and Landry are injured, but they're questionable. Chubb, I think, is playing. Hunt's on injured reserve. It doesn't matter because that other kid from Louisiana Lafayette or whatever, he lit it up. So I don't have a problem with Cleveland. I think Beckham's overrated. So Landry, he's good. These are LSU boys I like. So I don't know. I got Cincinnati 2.5. I think the play's Cleveland plus 8.5 here. Yeah, Cincinnati's better, but then what the hell they do against the Jets? And if Mike White's lighting them up, Bernie Kosar, Baker Mayfield's going to light them up. So 8.5. The series is 8.5. The trend's a little bit more on Cleveland, and I'll go through that. A lot of injuries to Cleveland, not much to Cincy. As far as I know, Mixon will play, Burrow's playing, Chase is playing. So Cincy will be at full strength. You just wonder what happened last week. Okay, was it a letdown from beating Baltimore? Was it a sandwich game? They beat Baltimore, but then they lost. Then they got Cleveland coming up. Does that really happen with these guys? I don't know. I think they just played. The defense never showed up. Burrow never showed up. That terrible interception late in the game when they're up 5. This is not the time to be. Why aren't you running the ball then? Again, with the stupid offensive coordinator. Well, the odds say we should be throwing a short out. So I don't know. I like Cleveland at first blush here. Picking the game, I said take the dog. And I'll go through that last 2. Oakland, 3 over the Giants, 46.5. Oakland's the E team. Score 24, give up 24. The Giants are the under team. They don't score, but their defense is good. Now, they look good against Kansas City, 2 deep zone, holding them back. But it seems like everybody's doing that. So does that tell me the Giants have a great defense? Let's look at the last week. And the Giants, we'll go to the week before. And this is the Giants shutting out Carolina, 25-3. So they give up 3. They give up 20 to Kansas City. So I believe the Giants' defense is definitely coming. Oakland laying 3. The coach is gone. The Giants now have a lot of injuries. They're okay as a home dog. Oakland's a terrible road favorite. So you end up, what do you do with this game? I said to take the dog. So the Giants in 9 are live. They can win. They beat Carolina and they played KC. I think they'll play the way they did against KC with keeping the ball in front of them. Will they score enough? Jones has been running more, so they could score. Atlanta, New Orleans. New Orleans laying 6.5 in the Battle of the South. Atlanta's an E team, so they're up from a W, so they're starting to score more. New Orleans is a B team, so they're going to score, and they'll score and give you good defense. Now, Taysom Hill will be the quarterback. Winston's out, which is better. He's a much better quarterback, so Hill won't turn it over. He's going to run power running, but not as much as he's the quarterback. If he goes down, you're in trouble because they can't bring Drew Brees back. New Orleans has won 6 of the last 7, or at least covered 6 of the last 7. I like New Orleans here with Taysom Hill. Over-under is 42. I think this game's an over. Hill will score you some points. Atlanta doesn't really have a good defense, and then they can score with Ryan. So I think over 36 is probably a pretty good way to play it. New Orleans does have an excellent defense, but it's just so does Atlanta's defense. Is horrible. You just got 2 bad defenses going, and New Orleans probably wins the game. Does it go over 36? I can't imagine 20-17 is the winner. They can't get to that. So we'll see, but I think that's an over. Excuse me. I apologize. San Diego, Philadelphia. San Diego laying 1.5, over under 50. Herbert's questionable with a hand. So he's been questionable with a hand, playing bad, and they look like crap the last few weeks. Losing, who did San Diego lose to last week? They lost to New England on pick 6 because of his hand. So keep an eye. Philly running a college offense in the pros. Coach should be fired. Trends are on both sides. San Diego is a strong road favorite, as we know, and bet against. Philly is a home dog. Apparently is okay. I'll get into that. So it's a tough one. I mean, I'd love San Diego as the dog here. Everybody's got the injury, so it's really hard when the whole team's questionable what to do. Over under 50. Do I go over or under? I don't really say. I mean, they're both E teams, so it means the defenses are they're both in the 20s. So I would guess this would be an over versus an under, but it's nothing special. Kansas City 7 over Green Bay, over under from. So the spread went from 1-7 and 54-48. Off the top of my head, this was a Green Bay lock with Rodgers. So again, the timing sucks. KC laying 7. I don't know who they can beat by 13. Jordan Love had a great junior year. The coach moves to Texas Tech, where he does nothing. They get a new coach who was the old Utah State coach. He comes in and screws up everything. So Jordan Love, I don't know. It depends on if he's got I would hire the Texas Tech coach who just got fired as the offensive coordinator for Green Bay, and then they do all right. Or I'd at least have him as an assistant and say, okay, what plays work for him at Utah State? Because the second year, nothing worked for him. So is Jordan Love a terrible quarterback or not? The first year he was a superstar. Second year, he sucked. What do you do with the guy? I don't know. Kansas City hasn't seen him. And if they looked at their senior year, there's nothing to watch. If they looked at the junior year, they'd be scared. KC just isn't there right now. I think they've hit a brick wall. I think they're just tired. They look like shit against the Giants. So as my friend says, well, their backs are against the wall. I go, but this isn't the team that you back against the wall. We had back against the wall when they played Philly and when they played Washington, and they blew them both out. Then we backed against the wall in another game, and the Tennessee game, they don't show up. 27-3. Last week, they beat the Giants. The Giants, 2017 at home in a must-win game. So now I'm just saying I don't think KC's got anything. They're losing to Buffalo. They're losing to Tennessee. They're barely beating the Giants. They got Oakland coming up. San Diego beat them and going to beat them again. I don't know what's wrong with them. The over-under on this game's 48. If Rodgers is playing and the spread's 1, I'm locking Green Bay in 7 or 7.5 so fast your head will swim. Without him, how can I play Love? So therefore, the only way to play this game is under. It's 48. You go under 54. It's the only way to play it because KC's not showing an offense. All Green Bay has to do is play a 2-deep zone. KC doesn't have running because Chocolate Eclair's injured. And so what do you? So you got really no running and a guy that doesn't know what he's doing to throw the ball because they've figured out how to defend Hill and they double team Kelsey. So he's going back to pass, and as soon as he's back in the pocket, he's getting nailed. I mean, the blitz is on, and their offensive line stinks, so he has no time. He's throwing the ball, hitting receivers in the face, and the receivers can't catch it, and it's interceptions. Green Bay, good defense. They went to Frisco and won. They beat Arizona, and I warned everybody about don't fuck with Aaron Rodgers, and he showed you. You don't have Aaron. So here's the one injury you can't have is Aaron Rodgers. So you lose your heart, your soul, your team. The guy, it's like losing Brady. So I think they'll run more with Love like they did with when the receivers were out. KC can only run; they can't throw anymore. This game has got under written all over it. 48 under 54. I don't think anybody gets to 30 in this game. No chance. I see the messages. I'll respond to them in a minute. Arizona, Frisco. Okay, Frisco. I have Arizona -6. Arizona's the 18. Frisco's an 18. Frisco's now a home favorite. Huge trends are on Arizona as a road dog, and betting against Frisco as a home favorite. So I love the dog in this game. Now, why did the line move? Well, Kyler Murray's got a sprained ankle. Now, I heard yesterday he was fine. He's going to play, and now he's questionable. Kyler Murray plays and you get 2 points, it's a lot. Now, I know the quarterback the receiver's out, or the receiver's questionable, the Hopkins. And they have one other receiver. A.J. Green is questionable or doubtful, whatever. I don't care about him, but I do care about Hopkins. They'll probably play. Now, this is a game in the division. Everybody plays. Everybody takes their little shots. So I would anticipate Kyler Murray playing. Frisco, take Arizona, getting 8 points. And even if Murray doesn't play, I still don't see 49ers blowing them out. Arizona being an A team has a good defense, even without J.J. Watt. Frisco's an A team. They have an average defense and not much offensively. I don't like Garoppolo, and that's that. Tennessee and the Rams. The Rams are 7.5, 53. 53. How can they be 53? So the Rams are the A team. Tennessee's the E team without Henry. Is Tennessee an E team without Henry? They probably go to an under. If you have to rely on Tannehill without Henry, without the play action pass, without the whole defense trying to stop Henry, allowing Tannehill to look good, you're screwed. Tennessee is going to be big. Is going to be in big trouble without Henry. Stafford now has a bad back, so he's questionable. Is he playing? So again, I think this goes way under. Over a 53 in this game. Where's the points coming from? Here's where Vegas is not looking at the situation. They're taking Tennessee. They're taking the averages. They're taking the Rams. Who in their right mind's betting over in this game? For what? What do you got the over with? Tennessee doesn't score without Henry. He gets you the red zone touchdowns. And the Rams, even if Stafford plays, they're not, okay, they'll get 20-something. Tennessee's not scoring against this defense, not with Henry. And they added Von Miller, but that's not a big deal now. He needs 5-6 games to get used to playing with the guy. So his impact won't be felt right away. But L.A., this is under all over the place. And then we get to Chicago, Pitt Monday night. Chicago under team, Pitt under team. My line 7, their line 6.5. Over under a 40. Schuster's out, as we know. Chicago, they're starting Fields, which makes this game an under. It also makes it a Pitt game because Fields is not beating Pitt, and Fields is not scoring, and Fields stuck. Is not. He wants to play Purdue, and he's got the P, but he doesn't have Purdue. He's got Pitt. So that's my walkthrough. You can see it's so bad, this league. It's so hard. Before you would, like, you see me in college, right? It's, oh, there it is, take Baylor, take Oklahoma State. I mean, they're just laid out for you. You don't have it here. All right, Green Bay, Rodgers is out. Arizona, Murray, maybe. Tennessee, no, Henry's gone. So the injuries are killing you. Half these teams, the whole team's injured. It's unbelievable. All right, let me read some questions. Nick Maida, really liking Rams -1.5, Cardinals +7.5. Feel like Cards play good as dogs. Don't see Tannehill beating the Rams when they are trying to win the West. Well, they don't have Henry, so Rams. Like I said, Rams are better off on the under. The Cardinals in 7.5. You got to worry about Murray. So if Murray, maybe, well, today's Thursday, so see if Murray practices. There's no practice usually Saturday. I got a feeling Murray's going to play, so I think the Cards in 7.5 is good. The Rams, again, now Stafford's back, and he missed a lot of games with the Lions with the bad back, I think 2 years ago. So you don't know the fact he's injured, but that makes the under even more appealing. So I'd probably go Rams under, Cards +7.5. Hope all has been well with the move. No, but that's okay. Well, that's not something for the video. Andy, hey man, I took Iowa +13 when I didn't have that garbage on my radar. I took UCF off when I knew better. Okay, I don't quite follow. I took UCF off when I knew better. Okay. I don't quite understand. Right now we're doing the NFL, Andy. So if you have questions on the NFL, please let me know. If you're talking last week's college, I assume you had Georgia under, right? Is that where you made your money? That's where I made my money, on Georgia under and the Miami Pitt over. That's where the money went. Let's see. Let's get into the stats. So when I look at just 2021, I'm just going to go over the total. So Minnesota is a 6-1, 86%. Their loss was last week to Dallas. This coach is terrible. You don't know what you're getting. They should never have lost to Dallas with Cooper Rush. I didn't get a chance to see the game. I was busy, but you got to be kidding me. Losing that game at home. Lousy coach. Green Bay 7-1. Dallas 7-0 against the number. Arizona 7-1. Cincinnati 7-1 after the loss of the Jets. New England 7-1. Indy 7-1. So England. So you think maybe Indy's would play today, but they're 4-0 as a road dog this year. They're 2-0 as a home favorite. Kansas City 7-1 again. Now these are the against. So you can see KC 7-1 against. 4-0. Let's see, they're home. 4-0 against as a home favorite. They're only 1-3 as a home favorite. So 4-0 against. So you can see KC is just really struggling. They figured out their offense, but they haven't made. KC now needs to make the adjustment offensively. You can't just keep running Hill deep and Kelsey over the middle. And teams are now playing two deep safety. They're now double teaming Kelsey and saying you don't have a running back. What are you going to do? So that's where you're at with that. So KC's been figured out, and the next move is Mahomes and Andy Reid, and you can see how bad a coach Andy Reid really is. He can't make the adjustment. Everybody's figured you out. You need to do something else, and he hasn't done it. Betting against Houston 7-1. Again, another Z team. Miami, a Z team, 8-0 against. Jacksonville, a Z team, 7-0 against. Cleveland's not a Z team, 7-1. A lot of injuries. Washington, not as they're, I think they're a W, 8-0. Atlanta, 7-0. Frisco, 6-1, and of course Detroit, 7-1, and Minnesota, 6-1. So Minnesota plays all close games, 6-1 in a teaser, with them, and 6-1 against. So as you can see, most of the Z teams, you just bet against them. Detroit, 7-1. Atlanta, 7-0, and they're not a Z team anymore, but they're pretty bad. Washington, 8-0, and then Jacksonville, 7-0. Miami, 8-0. Houston, 7-1. And Kansas City, 7-1. And but the Jets are 5-2. So they're the only Z team that's not 90% against. So that's what's going on this year. So again, you're trying to find who to bet against. So those are the bet on and bet. And because we've only played about 7-8 games, you can't really go into home favorite and home dog. There's just not enough, Okay, the Rams are 4-0 as a road favorite, but that's okay, but not enough. Really, you want like 7-8 games to really put in there. But everything else is pretty much spread. Buffalo, 3-1 as a home favorite, 1-1 as a road favorite, and 1-0 as a road dog. They're 5-2 this year, so they're they lost to Pitt at home, and then they lost at Tennessee. So, and you can see all the Miamis and the Jets; they usually win. Now Cincinnati's playing better with Burrows, and he's playing the whole year, which is good. He's getting some good experience. So let's go to 21-20. And now we can get into a little bit more into the numbers here. Overall, Green Bay 21-5, Tampa 22-6, Dallas 18-5, Miami 19-5, Buffalo, there you go, 22-4. They did come back and win last week. And San Diego 78, they're 18-5. Betting against Minnesota 19-4, Detroit 20-4, Atlanta's 19-4, Philly 19-5, Washington 19-6, Jacksonville 20-3. Only 1 year with Lawrence, but it's looking good. Houston 21-3, the Jets 19-4. San Diego 19-4. So San Diego's 18-5 betting on them and 19-4 betting against them. And Kansas City's now 22-5 against. So they're getting worse. If we go into individual selections of this week, so we got Minnie as a road dog. So they're 5-2 with and against as a road dog, but they're 19-4 against. Problem is Baltimore is 7-4 as a home favorite and 6-5 against. There's no trend in Baltimore. So it's not like Lamar Jackson's lighting it up or Baltimore. And yes, they got all the injuries, but this is where it shows. So if I go into anything that has any type of meaningful trend, you have Green Bay 5-0 as a road dog, but that's with Aaron Rodgers. Tampa's out. Here's Frisco, 1-7 as a home favorite, 8-0 against. They're playing Arizona, who's 6-0 as a road dog, 1-5 against. So you can see here, this has the makings of the real strong play where you have Frisco 8-0 against as a home favorite and Arizona 6-0 with as a road dog. So you have this terrible home favorite, probably because of bad quarterback play on the Niners. And here's Kyler Murray, and they're 6-0 as a road dog. And it's funny, they're not a good home favorite, as I said, and they lost to Green Bay. They're now 8-2 against as a home favorite. So it's really hard to understand them, how you can be 6-0 as a road dog, but 8-2 against as a home favorite. So when you get home, they're 10-2 against us at home, Phoenix, Arizona, and 10-2 if you bet them on the road. So it just blows your mind that they can't they can be so successful on the road and be so bad at home. Cincinnati's only been a home favorite 2 times, so not enough information. Tennessee, you throw out their trends. They don't have Henry. Pitt, nothing really to write home about. Cleveland is a road dog, 6-2. So Cleveland's a pretty good road dog here against Cincinnati. Again, in the series, Cleveland's won 4 out of 5. The problem is there's so many injuries, but this should be a game. Cleveland should be a live dog here. Jacksonville, they're 20-3 against. What do we got them at? They're a home dog to Buffalo. So if we look at them, they're 5-5 as a home dog, 9-1 against, 20-3 against Buffalo, who is a road favorite at 6-2 as a road favorite, and 22-4 overall. So this is a real good Buffalo trend. They're a good road favorite. They're not afraid to be. They're 85%, 22-4 in a teaser against Jacksonville, who's 20-3 against and 9-1 against as a home dog. Jacksonville as a dog's terrible. They're 9-2 against as a road dog. So they're 18-3 against as a dog, 20-3 overall. And Trevor Lawrence isn't going to beat Buffalo. So here you can feel comfortable. Even though it's 14, you can lay 8 and go, yeah, but that's in the trends, right? Buffalo's 85%. At some point, they were laying 12 or 13 points. And now it's not a sleeper. What I like is like the Arizona road dog. That's a sleeper. Or like UCLA over or Miami College over. Those are the sleepers I like. Vegas hasn't caught on here. They're already laying 14. It's a tough one. This is what separates the game from a lock. Buffalo -7's a lock. Buffalo -8's a lock. Buffalo at 14, I got to lay 8. I can't lock it, I think, because all they want to do is win by a touchdown. So maybe they win by, like last week, they pull out the 15 late, but who knows. New England, where are they? They're a road favorite to Carolina. They're 3-1 as a road favorite and against. Not, again, there's a little Tom. There's not a lot of Tom Brady. There won't be Tom Brady in this. So this is without Tom Brady. And Carolina is 5-2 as a home dog, 4-3 against. So Carolina is not a great home dog. New England without Brady is 67% in the teaser. So they're nothing special. Indy tonight, 8-2 as a home favorite, and the Jets are 11-1 against as a road dog. So you would think that Indy would handle it, but now here comes Mike White. And they beat Tennessee, and now they beat Cincinnati, and I don't know what the hell I got with the Jets. So prudence would say Indiana, but you got 10 points, so you're laying 4. It's a bit much, I think, but what should happen is Indy should win by about 10. But we'll see about Mike White, if he's really the difference. And this is the problem. You don't know, so you can't really bet this game. The bet would have been Indy. If Zach Wilson is the starter, see, and I wonder what the line would have been if Zach Wilson started. Because with White, it's 10, and I don't know where they're getting 10 from. How can you assume 10 when this guy just put up 30 on Cincinnati? Like, that's not a fluke. He knows what he's doing. Houston, another good go against team, 21-3. We got Houston. They're at Miami. Miami's 4-1 as a home favorite, 79% overall. And Houston is 9-0 against as a road dog, 21-3 overall. So Miami, by all sense, should win. But how do you bet on a Z team? So Miami's a bad team. How can they beat anybody? How can you bet them to beat anybody? And Houston's just as bad. How can you take them? So this is a real struggle of taking either of these teams. I circled the over 40 just because I think they're finding ways to score because of the rules with the pass interference and all the crap that they now call. And every defensive penalty is the first down. So I think somehow they'll get 40 points on all the penalties and everything. Oakland's playing at the Giants. Oakland is 4-1 as a road favorite. 5-0 bet against as a road favorite. You can see when Oakland goes on the road, they're 5-0 against. when you see they're playing the Giants. Now, as I said, the Giants just in the last 2 years is 10-1 as a road dog. But as a home dog, you would think they'd be better. They're only 5-5. So it's a really weird dichotomy that they're such a good road dog and such a poor home dog. And I would assume it's because the point spread's much higher for them on the road. Like Kansas City's 10. Had the game been in New York, they probably would have been 6. So with the extra points, that's why they're covering as a road dog. But as a home dog, they're terrible. But Oakland's 5-0 against. So there's really no giant trend to take. And if you looked at it, you'd bet against Oakland because they're 5-0 as a road dog. But see, I don't like this. I don't like Oakland laying 3, and I can't come up with an over/under. Denver. Dallas is 10 over Denver. So we look at Dallas. They're 5-3 as a home favorite, 6-2 against. Denver is 8-1 as a road dog and 5-4 against. So this would take Denver if I just use technical. But they don't have Von Miller, so these trends all Von Miller. And Bridgewater's new this year, so you got to look at that. But they're still 8-1 as a road dog. And Dallas 6-2 against. Now Dak didn't play a lot of last year with the injury. So let's go back to 2021 and see if that'll give us a clue. So if I look at Dallas this year, here's where it changes, right? Now Dallas is 3-0 as a home favorite, 7-0 in a teaser. So each year you're getting the new information. So part of the bundle you need because you want to see if it's consistent. And then you want to look at the new stuff. So they're 3-0. Denver this year is only 1-0 as a road dog. They're 6-2 against in a teaser. So now when you look at it, you go, I'm going to bet Dallas. They're 7-0 in a teaser, 3-0 as a home favorite. So that is why you look at each year. And again, Dak Prescott didn't play a lot of last year. Here's all Dak Prescott, and they're 7-0. I thought I put that was at Mini. So they were a road dog at Mini. I was wondering why don't I have the Minnesota game, but that's because they were the road dog. And I usually put the spread in here that I bet it at. So if I were to already bet, had I bet Dallas -2 last week, I would have made them a road favorite. But because I didn't play them, and then they came in late and it switched and the injury happened early enough, I then recorded the stat as Dallas is a road dog, Mini is a home favorite. So that's how I assess my trends. Almost done with the trend part. San Diego is a road favorite to Philly. Philly 7-0 as a home dog, 3-1 as a home favorite. They're 10-1 at home. Philly against 4-0 as a home favorite, 6-1 as a home dog. Philly 10-1 if you bet them at home, 10-1 against at home. 19-5, 18-6. So Philly's like a team that is sitting around the teaser. So they just say we're going to play close to the teaser. What's the line? Okay, the line 6. We'll lose by 7 or something. So Philly is a go both ways with, and they're playing San Diego, and San Diego 3-0 is a road favorite, 2-1 against. San Diego's 10-1 on the road, 8-3 against. So again, this looks like you can probably just tease the game. Maybe San Diego on 4.5 is probably good if Herbert plays. So you got to almost wait till Saturday night or Sunday. Herbert played last week with the hand. He'll probably play this week. It's not likely. I assume it's not broken or he'd be out, right? If you got a broken hand, you're not. And is it his throwing hand or his other hand? I don't know that. But this is if Herbert plays, San Diego is a very strong play here. Green Bay and KC. Again, KC 6-7 as a home favorite, 11-2 against, 22-5 against, and Green Bay doesn't have freaking Aaron Rodgers. They're 5-0 as a road dog. So this was all set to be a lock on Green Bay. And this is why you don't lock. If you're missing Rodgers, you can't lock the game. I still think Green Bay in 13 hangs in there, but I like the under. I just KC is not KC, right? And this is the real teaching point. Who's KC this year and who is KC this year? So what I'm saying is, who's the dominant team? It looks like Buffalo. Buffalo is now KC. And who is KC? Well, KC's now, Indianapolis, or they're Oakland now. They're a 70%. So KC in the last 2 years has fallen to 63% and 81% against. The only teams that do 81% against are the Z teams. San Diego, well, they're not a Z team, but the Jets, Jacksonville, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Detroit, Minnesota. Those are your teams that are 83% against, the teams that aren't very good. Minnesota, I don't know what they are, so I can't really say, but that's what you're looking at. So really, Kansas City is not a Super Bowl team. I don't know if the loss of Leclerc was much. I just think that you don't know. I think they need a running game, and that way it keeps. If they want to play two deep safeties, and I just run the ball down their throat and and have a different game plan. It's the only way you can really play as San Diego. You've got to have a different game plan where you're, forget Mahomes and the throw. That'll come when he's open. Right now, we're going to run, and then when they stop the run, then we play action pass. You can't just throw along the hill and these fast guys, and none of them seem to be able to catch anyway. It hits them in the face. They're not even ready to catch the ball. It's crazy. And the last is Seattle, who is off this week, the coach Pete's. So that is your other look. So that's the technical look, right? And then we get into the ranking look. I mean, this is I got to go this deep to try to find games this week because it's insane. These teams are so bad, or you get the Kyler Murray and the Rodgers. So you finally get, I'm going to lock Aaron Rodgers and he's COVID, or I'm going to lock Kyler Murray, but he hurts his ankle. It's insane. You wait for it, you get it, and then you can't bet it because of the injury. So I'm not going to go through all these. Let's go through Dallas, Denver. So, let me blow this up a little. So Dallas is an 18. They score 32. They give up 23. They get 466 in offense. They only have 12 sacks. They're a beautiful over team. Denver, 20 and 17. I think we've talked about them without Von Miller. Are they going to get? They got 20 sacks. So they're going to get more. The best sacking team is 21. Is actually Cincinnati, who didn't seem to show up against the Jets, and then Carolina. So it doesn't mean anything in Chicago. So Chicago and Carolina prove it doesn't mean that if you sack, you're a good team. It's just their way of playing defense. So what does this show you? Dallas should beat them. Again, you don't have Von Miller. So Dallas, laying 10's a big number. And again, Dallas I have as an A team, and again, that's with the stats. But again, you've got to use the stats because you've got to see the defenses. Let's look at Buffalo, Jacksonville. Buffalo is the best team, 33 and 16. They throw 283, run for 127, which is a lot as Josh Allen, 16 sacks. And here's Jacksonville, terrible team. As we saw, technically they don't cover. They're near the bottom. They score 18, give up 29. So you have a very weak defense. They got 359 total yards and only 11 sacks. I think 10 by Atlanta is the worst. 11 by Kansas City. So almost you can see the teams that don't sack are the bad teams, right? Let's see. You got Miami and Jacksonville don't sack. Atlanta doesn't sack. Kansas City and actually Dallas with 12. A little surprised by that, but so those are the teams that don't sack, don't win, except for Dallas. And that's the problem, right? They don't put it. So you have Buffalo against a very weak defense, which is why it's a Z team. So Buffalo should light it up. They shouldn't have problems with Jacksonville putting up a good at 30 points or so. This should be 30-13 or something like that. Let's look at the Cleveland-Cincy game. Cincinnati scores 28, gives up 20. Burrow 284 a game. They run for 100, 21 sacks, massive. Cleveland scores 23, gives up 23. That's why they're even. They're approaching under, but at this point they're still an even. And then Mayfield, see, he only throws for 238, and they won for 161, and then 22. So when they're more of a running team, makes them an under team because they're running the clock, right? So that I make this game an under. And Cincinnati with all the sacks, so it's going to be hard to score. Cincinnati only gives up 20, Cleveland 23. So that's what you're looking at here. So they don't throw. I wonder if that's the best running 161. And again, this is yards per game, so it's taking averages. Yeah, 161 is the most. Cleveland runs for the most, and then Dallas at 152, and then Baltimore, which is mostly Jackson, at 149. And you're asking me where's Tennessee, and I'm answering you 148. So it's all Henry. So you're missing 148. Tennessee throws for 252, runs for 148. So they get 400 yards, but that's going to go down. It's going to be harder for him to throw because the defense will play him for pass now. Atlanta, New Orleans, we don't know because Tyson Hill is not in the stats. They're 25-18, so this looks like very tough defense. Atlanta 21-28. So Atlanta has a very weak defense, and I think they're starting to score 259. They can't run. So here's Atlanta's problem. If you look at the stats, you can see why they're a bad team. He throws for 259. He only runs for 87 yards, and they only have 10 sacks. This is why Atlanta sucks. It's all right here. You just got to know to read it. Again, look at the worst teams. Houston runs for 76. The Jets 76, Detroit 93, Miami 79, Pitt 86 is surprising with Najee Harris, and the Giants with 89, and Atlanta 87. So and there's one, and Oakland runs for 85. These are why the teams are no good. They don't run enough. It's too much one-dimensional passing, which doesn't rest the defense, and that's what hurts you. So all these teams pretty much have weak, the best defense, like here, Oakland gives up 24, but as I get down, Atlanta gives up 28. The Giants give up 25. Pitt gives up 20, so they're the exception. Miami gives up 29. Detroit gives up 31. The Jets give up 29, and Houston gives up 30. So you can see 95% of the teams that don't run don't rest their defense, and then they have problems, and that's what happens. So the best team is so Buffalo gets 283 and runs for 127, and Tampa runs for 100, but Brady throws for 330 to make up for it. Dallas is balanced 314, 152. Arizona's balanced 280 to 120. The Rams are 310 to 100. Tennessee's 250 to 148. But now they lost. Now, how do they replace Henry? And Baltimore's 280, 150. So you can see all the good teams are pretty balanced. They can run the ball. Even if it's Lamar Jackson running, they're running the ball. So this is the key to it. Quickly, I'm going to go through. So here's the top 10 defenses. Buffalo, Denver, Arizona, New Orleans, Carolina, Cincy, Pitt, New England, Green Bay, and the Rams. And that's why most of them are very good teams. Here's your best offenses. Again, Buffalo. That's why they're an A team. Tampa Bay, Dallas, Arizona, the Rams, Tennessee, Cincinnati, Baltimore, KC, New England, Oakland, Philly, and New Orleans. So you can see The teams that score and the teams that give up they're the best teams, and that's what happens, and that's the point. Best quarterbacks, Brady 25-5. Here's another reason Oakland's hurting is 12-5 for Carr. He should be, why aren't they 20-3, Carr? Stafford's 22-4. Look at Mike White. He's 4-4. I don't know where he got the 4 interceptions. It wasn't last week. He's already got 4 touchdown passes. Dak 16-4. Herbert 16-6. Kyler Murray 17-7. Josh Allen 17-3. Kirk Cousins 14-2. No, that's Lamar. No, Lamar's 10-5. Kirk Cousins is 14-2, and they're all meaningless garbage touchdowns when the game's on the line against Dallas. He's nowhere to be found. Tannehill 10-7. That's going to go down. Carson Wentz surprisingly 14-3. Russell Wilson 10-1. Aaron Rodgers 17-3. So you can see the good quarterbacks. Who's down here? Winston surprisingly was 14-3, but he's gone. And the worst is this 3-7 is Justin Fields. There's my man. 3 touchdowns, 7 picks. Let's see what Trevor Lawrence is, just so I can have a good laugh. He's 8 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. So it's all there in the numbers. That's why I study them. You can easily see. You can easily see what's going on by the numbers. So, again, this board is extremely tough, as the last few have been extremely tough. You're getting a lot of weak, Houston, Miami. How do you pick the game? Let me know, because it's maybe an over. I don't know that you can say Miami's going to win. I don't know. You don't think Houston can beat anybody, but I don't think Miami can beat anybody. That's the problem with the Z teams. Now, Dallas should handle Denver. New England should handle Carolina. Buffalo, I like over Jacksonville. Cincinnati, Cleveland, probably take the dog. New Orleans should handle Atlanta, but you got Taysom Hill. Green Bay is better than Kansas City, but you don't have Aaron Rodgers. And Arizona is an A team against Frisco. So you're praying Kyler Murray plays. You can almost make the bet hoping Kyler Murray plays. That's probably the best bet on the board. The Rams, again, should be a good bet if Stafford plays. He's only questionable. I would assume he's going to play. If he was on the Lions, he'd be sitting out. But because he's on the Rams now and they're a good team, he can make the playoffs, then he's going to play. And if I notice, Julio Jones has the hamstring again, which I told you about. He's had the hamstring for 5 years. And then Monday night came, and all of a sudden he's healthy, and now he's back with the hamstring. And Chicago Pitt, it's a good under because it's Justin Fields. And Pitt's going to play tough D, and the Bears will play tough D, and that should be an under. So, again, college, much, much easier. In the last 3 weeks, I've been probably 90% in college. Pros I'm not getting good matchups. So I locked Cincy and the Rams last week in pro. Rams easy winner. Cincy, I don't know how you could see that coming, especially after they killed Baltimore 40-17. You think, okay, they got it figured out. Here they come. And then they lay an egg here against they're laying the egg against the Jets. It's just, how can they be flat? I mean, this is pro football. Now Baltimore's back in first place, and they got Cleveland. If they lose, they're probably going back to third place. So you've got all this difficult decisions. So, it's just very, very weak, the league is right now. I mean, and with the buys, I don't have Tom Brady to bet this week. There's a Seattle. Well, they're bad anyway. With Russell Wilson out. So you're hoping Russell Wilson comes back next week. Then you can start betting Seattle again. But it just shows you get that one injury to the quarterback. He's the guy that you got to watch. The linemen you don't care about. And Ezekiel Elliott and Henry are the couple of key running backs, maybe Chubb, who you take notice when they're injured. Like Henry, I'm not betting Tennessee. Tannehill's there, but Tannehill is not good. He's good because of Henry. He's good because Henry's there. Anybody would be a better quarterback with Henry. You put Brady there, they'd never lose a game because nobody could figure out how to defend him. So that's the pros this week. Again, I'm not playing tonight. I want to watch White on the Jets and see what he does. Was it a fluke against Cincy? Did Indy watch enough film to figure him out? This I don't know. So anyway, that's about it for week 9 of the pros. I should do a Saturday, Sunday morning just recap of line move. Like hopefully, like by Sunday morning, I should know about Stafford and Murray and Herbert and the guys that are injured that are meaningful. Dak, I am assuming is a yes. Don't count on Von Miller. And the last pit is Cleveland's 4-1 against Cincy. The last 5, New Orleans 6-1 against Atlanta. The last 7, Arizona, Frisco. The dog is the play. The last 5 or 6. So I've given you all that I can give you. It's just extremely difficult. There's 3 or 4. There's 3 or 4 plays that you can really play, and the rest are just flip a coin. And like you hope Stafford's back's better with Henry out. They should beat him, but you can't make that call. You just don't know. Pitt, Chicago, I think that's a good under. KC, Green Bay, I think that's a good under. Dallas, Denver, that's probably a good under. Or a Dallas, because Denver's not going to do anything. And then the rest, I don't. The only under game is Chicago, Pitt. So when I look at it, I got Z's playing Z's, and I got an under playing an A, and Minnesota, Baltimore, an under playing an E. So that could go under. But you never know with Baltimore. And then New England, Carolina should be an under, but who's going to play quarterback for Carolina? Darnold. Now, if it's somebody you never heard of, then you play under. So when the star quarterback goes out, it's an under game because the coach says, I can't trust this backup. I'm going to run the ball. And anytime there's more running in a game, that's an under. That's Army and Navy running the whole third, 17 play, 11-minute drive. There goes the quarter. There's no scoring. So that's what you look for in college anyway. In the pros, as I just stated, there's very few teams that have a good rushing offense. And so and the correlation there is normally they don't have a good defense because they're tired. All right, www.teaserking.com. Like I said, I have a 29-unit lock in college, another college lock, which I'm debating what to do with it. But that'll be posted probably tonight, maybe tomorrow, but for sure by tomorrow it'll be posted. I'm just looking. There's so many college games. It's hysterical. I can find 3 or 4 pros, and I can find 15 college games. So anyway, have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you for watching. www.teaserking.com. The professor signing off. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.